Good evening, fine folks of the internet, ladies, gentlemen, bows beyond the binary, and of course all of our culminations of being. My name is Phoenix, and today I've got something I want to talk about. Something different, something that goes against the status quo that I have yet to put in place, due simply to a lack of content. Although, I will say that if such a thing were to be put in place by now, this most certainly would be going against it. Now then, why don't we sit on down, have a glass of water, have a little chat? For the past couple of years, I have been a part of the Team Fortress 2 community. I was a part of certain movements such as Save TF2 and a community comic initiative to write the seventh comic before Valve did, although we all know how that turned out, considering that the seventh comic is currently released, and you most likely are just now figuring out that this comic initiative took place in the first place. But that's not important. Today, we're going to go down a little history lesson. Remember Save TF2 I just mentioned? Why exactly was that put in place? Well, the bots. It was the bots. The bot crisis that was running rampant and holding the game hostage. The bots which made the game absolutely unplayable, which ruined the game and pushed away so many fine people in the community. They did everything they could to make this game as unplayable as possible. If they saw you dead, they were mic spamming. They, hell, if you weren't a bot, you were getting kicked. You literally could not join a game at all unless it was competitive or something along those lines. Needless to say, casual and other similarly easily accessible areas were in danger. They were being held hostage by bot hosters. And what did Valve do? What did Valve, in their infinite wisdom, decide to do? They decided to profit off of it, and in doing so, silence a vast majority of the people who played their game. If you do not know, Valve's initial response to the bot crisis was to deny people who did not spend money on Team Fortress 2 the freedom of speech. Basically, if you did not pay a certain amount of money, in this case I believe it is currently $5, then you could not talk. You had no forms of communication available to you other than simply moving your character. You could not talk. You could not even use the microphone that you had paid for. You could not even just simply ask for a medic to heal you. All of it was gone. Unless, of course, you forked over some cash. Now, what was Valve's initial intention with this? Well, it was to it was to slow the bots down. Is what I personally believe it was to do. It was to slow them down and stop the bots from harassing people, to stop them from spamming hateful speech, the spamming of music, the spamming of you know what I'm trying to get at. We both know what I am trying to say in this current moment. And so, Valve, in their infinite wisdom, decided, no, you cannot talk. Not of course. Not of course unless you just gave us a little bit of money. Just a little bit of money. You fork over some cash and you will be given the right to talk within our video game, said the corporate overlords of Valve. Now, what actually happened from this? Well, people did spend money on this, and for a while it did slow down the bots. But not for long. You see, we all know what happened. We all know that they came back in full force. Meanwhile, the vast majority of their player base could not complain. They literally did not have the tools available to talk. They could not talk within the game. They did not have the freedom of speech. A game which was advertised as free to play was no longer free to play. considering that in a team-based shooter, communication is one of the most, if not, it is one of, if not the most important parts of the game. Knowing where the enemy might be, communicating that you need help, asking a medic to heal you, or in this case, miss the crossbow 15 billion times and dying to a pyro. But, in any case, most of the game, most players could not access. Unless, of course, you were part of the growing numbers which had the luxury of spending some money on the game, although many, including myself at the time, did not have such luxury. Because you should not have to pay to get essential parts of a free-to-play game. Why make it free-to-play in the first place if you're just going to demand that people fork over some cash for core essential gameplay features? And so, many people within the community, including myself and a select group of people, got fed up with it. A group of people that I am currently a part of have decided that enough is enough, that the free-to-plays should be given back their voice, that the people should be allowed to talk. And now, where does that leave us today? Well, below this video, you will find two things. One, a link where you can sign a petition to get Valve to think a little differently, to return the voice to the people who keep them in business, to return the voice that they stole, all in an effort to slow down something they could have easily stopped if they had just decided to put a half decent amount of effort into the game for once in years. Because Valve has abandoned Team Fortress 2. Let's admit, let's stop cherry picking, let's stop beating around the bush. Valve has abandoned Team Fortress 2. They have no intentions of ever coming back. Do they? Look at all the evidence. It has been how many years without a major update? It has been how long until Valve has done anything with the community? They have given up, but that doesn't mean we have to. We can show Valve how much we care about this game by pushing back and forcing Valve to undo their mistakes, because that's simply what this is, a mistake. I do not believe that Valve had the sole intention of forcing people to pay to talk. I simply believe that they were trying to slow down the bots and simply went about it in the worst way possible. Now then, I do ask that you sign the petition, I do ask that you join the Discord server, and I do ask that you spread the word. As this will only work if we all band together, if we all show Valve just how much we care. Now, I'm sorry for taking so much of your time. I'm sorry for how disorganized this video is. This has been entirely improv. I just needed to say something. That's about it. Hopefully, you'll do what you can if you care about Team Fortress 2. Now, you have two choices here. You may ignore this video. You may go about your day forgetting about all of this. Or you can do something. I'm not trying to guilt anyone into doing something. I am simply saying those are the two choices that you have. So, what do you want to do? If you want to help, how do you want to help? If you want to spread the word, how do you want to do that? If you wish to simply scroll on by, just ignore this, I don't blame you. It's perfectly fine. But to those of you who want to help out with this, I simply ask, how do you want to go about bringing back the voice to Valve's, to Team Fortress 2's player base? Be it through making your own video, be it through just simply spreading the word, telling your friend about this. Everything helps. Everything. Every tiny little thing. No matter how small it may seem, it is all instrumental. It is all extremely helpful. Now then, I have taken up far too much of your time today. I apologize, and I thank you for hearing me out. I have been Phoenix, and I do hope that you go about the rest of your day with a smile on your face. Adios.